Welcome to U-Talk. I'm Paige Turner, school counselor at Noble Middle School. Our show is all about the middle school student, testing, bullying, dating, stress, and so much more. We discuss it all. Joining me each month is a dynamic and engaging panel of middle school students ready to discuss the issues and tackle the tough questions. We kick off our show with some Q&A featuring questions on a variety of topics from middle schools throughout the school system that our panel of students are ready to answer. No question is too tough, no topic is too difficult. All right, panelists, here is question number 1. It says, thank you for reading this. I suffer from depression, anxiety, perfectionism, and OCD. I see a therapist twice weekly, but I don't know how to tell my friends about my struggles. They've noticed my unhappier attitude, but I don't know who to tell my struggles to and what to tell. I want to be honest with them, but I'm afraid that they will act differently towards me. So, it's kind of a tough situation.
You were asking, like, who should I talk to? And maybe someone you could talk to is your counselor. And what to tell to your friends is just tell them straight out and just be like, I have depression, OCD, anxiety, and just say it. Because I feel like being purely honest is what would be best.
Now, do you guys feel like that there's certain things that you should and should not tell friends, and maybe things that you should tell particular friends? How do you judge what to share and what not to share?
I think that, like, if you're going to tell that to somebody, I think it should be someone that you trust, not to, like, if you don't want a lot of people to know about it, tell it to, like, your friend you've known for years and years and you know they won't tell everybody else. But, like, if it's something you kind of want everybody to know, like, hey, just don't do it or something like that, which I doubt you'd want to, just kind of just say it casually, like, hey, I have this and this, so could you not do that? They'll probably just automatically think, okay, I won't do that, and you're that person anytime soon.
Do you feel like that middle school students in general, or thinking of some of your friends, do you feel like they would judge you or somebody in this situation because they're having some struggles with?
I don't think so.
Well, if they're your real friends, then they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, like, if knowing how that, like, person is, like, you'll know who to trust and who to tell.
Yeah.
And, like, all your friends are going to have different reactions.
Right.
So you should try to go with the friends that will have the best reactions.
Right. Absolutely. And I think you guys have all kind of mentioned this or alluded to it, that you kind of need to go on past experiences that you've had with friends, and if you've told them things that maybe aren't as serious and they've still, like, gone and told other people, then you should definitely not share something this important to you and this serious. So yeah, and I think being honest is always a good policy, especially when they've noticed a change in your attitude. So, okay. Let's go to the second one. I'm a 12-year-old A-plus student who is good at sports and very outgoing. Towards the end of last year and now this year, my longtime group of friends have distanced themselves from me. My friends are all athletic too, but once tryouts for school sports and club sports started and I made all the teams and they did not, there seemed to be a jealousy issue, and they began talking behind my back. I have other friends at school, but I just don't understand why my 2 closest friends no longer want to hang out with me. I want to be the best person that I can be, but I worry that I will continue to lose friends along the way. What do I do?
I say just go for it. If you're going to lose friends, then make new ones. Just, if you're trying to be happy and you want to be an athlete and you want to be an A-plus student, then just do it.
So, your suggestion is for them to strive to be the best, regardless of what other people.
Yeah, or just
think.
talk to your friends and ask them and be like, I know you don't have the success I do, but could you appreciate my success?
And you also have to be careful in how you say it too,
Yeah.
because you don't want it to appear that you're bragging and things like that. But you want to be happy for your friends when they do great.
Yeah, if
good
they're your
things.
real friends, then they'll support you, whatever you do. And if they just get too jealous and don't want to hang out with you anymore, that shows their real character.
Very true. Very true. I also feel like too that you don't want to have friends, like you were saying, Emily, that are going to be jealous, and that are going to support you and be there for you no matter what. Have any of you been in a similar situation or have experienced that, where friends have kind of backed off because you think they might have been jealous of something?
Yeah, like, kind of with like school stuff, and like it was like from last year, there was a student who like kind of felt like some of the things that I did was like keeping them away from like hanging out with me or something, so they'd feel kind of left out, and then they'd like get upset.
Yeah. Yeah, it can definitely happen. I'm sure you guys have probably been all, have been jealous before, of other friends. I mean, the feeling of being jealous is normal, but, when it gets to the point where you're, being rude and not hanging out with friends or talking behind their backs, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, and
For
I've
sure.
had people talk about me behind my back after they were like jealous of something. So
It's pretty hurtful. when
yeah,
that
it's
happens.
rough, and it like none of it's true.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe it. So
Yeah, at this age, you have to be very careful about what you say.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, let's move on to another one. Let's see. Okay, I have a problem. It's my sister. She's always getting me in trouble. My parents always blame me because I'm the oldest by 2 years. It's okay if she does something to me, but it's not okay if I do something to her. I'm sick and tired of her treating me like this. And if I tell my parents, it's just the same old talk. Plus, they don't even believe me. I would spend 1 hour cleaning my room and she would just drop everything everywhere. She acts like she is the boss, but she's not. What should I do? You've probably heard these stories before. I just need a little advice. I don't know who to go to.
I feel like I wrote this question.
Really?
But I can relate because I have a little sister and she's 10, and I feel like it's like the same way, like she'll like mess with me and then I'll get mad and then like it won't be a big deal, and then if I like do something, like my parents like get really mad. So I feel like when I get mad, I just like kind of try to like stay away from her, and then like kind of like the silent treatment, but like not like making it, not like showing that I'm mad, but like just like forgetting about her, not like in a bad so that way she'll like understand that it's like serious, and
Right.
I'm not,
You still want to show that you're upset about what happened,
Yeah.
but if you retaliate, then you're going to be the one that gets in trouble.
yeah.
So,
Or you
yeah.
could just like try not to get mad, and like if they get on your nerves, you could just tell them and be like, I'm sorry you feel this way, but I don't appreciate how you've been treating me lately, and then you could just like leave.
yeah, like Lily said, you should just confront them directly about the problem, since your parents won't do anything.
What about, do you think in this situation, having a conversation with your parents, and letting them know how you see things and what your perception is? It might not.
Maybe even get them to talk to your your sister, and tell her like you need to treat your sister with more respect.
And I think
Absolutely.
if you might like rephrase what you've been saying to your parents, like you said, you get the same thing every time you said it. I think you should maybe rephrase it, or maybe even bring your sister in to talk about it, or just kind of like try to give examples of what your sister's doing, and
Yeah.
try to kind of get control of the situation.
Absolutely. Maybe have a family meeting where everybody kind of gets together and talks about, just the family dynamics and how everybody can get along better and be happier, for sure. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. That wraps up You Talk Q&A. If you're a middle school student with a question you'd like our panel to discuss, there are several ways to submit that question. First, you can drop the question off to your school counselor or social worker. 2, you can email it to nhcstv@gmail.com. Or 3, use good old-fashioned mail by sending your question to NHCSTV, You Talk, 1802 South 15th Street, Wilmington, North Carolina, 28401. Now, coming up in our next segment, my co-host Megan DeMolina talks with the panel about avoiding the summer slide and tips for staying smart during the long summer break. Then later in the show, we will discuss transitioning to high school and middle school. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Severe weather can destroy a home in seconds. There's no time to think, only time to act. Have a kit so you're ready for any emergency. Develop a plan for what you and your family will do before disaster strikes. And stay informed during severe weather any way you can. It can be the difference between losing your possessions and losing your life. Just ask the owners of this house. Visit weather.com/ready and let the Weather Channel help you prepare your family for emergencies.
Hey, you told me to call? So can I stay for another hour or so? 11. Okay, Mom.
Let your kids be who they are, but know what they're doing.
Welcome back to U-Talk. I'm Megan Demolina, school counselor at Noble Middle School. Students of all ages routinely attempt to cram as much fun into each summer as possible, often at the expense of keeping their minds sharp. We call it the summer slide, and it's a fact that once students return from summer break, that many teachers spend a significant amount of time reteaching material due to summer learning loss. Panelists, is it possible to prevent this from happening while still enjoying a fun-filled summer? Let's discuss and share some tips to help keep students thinking all summer while still having fun. Thoughts? What do you think? The summer slide. Have you heard teachers talk about that? And
Well, I've definitely heard about that, and I've sometimes experienced it, but there's absolutely ways to prevent it.
right. When you say you've experienced it, what does that mean for you? How did that occur?
Like when you go into summer
Yep.
and you forget all about school, and then you go back to school and forget how to do math.
Like you completely checked out, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, one year I
like-
forgot how to write. Like I couldn't write my name.
What is that letter?
Because I haven't written with a pencil in forever.
I know, like,
Like my handwriting was really
Yeah.
bad.
Right. So not doing the daily practice or incorporating that into summer can really affect you going in and not making it like challenging in a way where you cannot overcome that, but it just does set back the beginning of the school a little bit because you have to kind of retrain your
back in the
brain a little
groove,
bit.
yeah.
Right. What are some other tips? Like how do students prevent the summer slide? What is something that's, doable? Because we want to keep in mind that there's a good balance between everything that you've got going on in the summer months with family, friends, keeping that thought in mind. What do you all think, Zach?
Well, me and my sister did last summer, the summer before 8th grade. Excuse me. We went to this camp, the Boston Leadership Institute,
Got it.
and we went there for I think it was a week and a half. And we went there, and it was kind of like a fun learning camp. It was all marine biology, but they also had it was mainly science, but they had math, reading, all that stuff there. And like you didn't really think you were learning because it was all like on the field stuff, but you started using stuff you learned in school. Didn't even realize it, so you kind of remembered how to do it when you went to school. And so like you only do like the school stuff maybe like 3 hours a day. It doesn't even feel like you're doing work. You're usually just like outside doing stuff. So like I would just go to like a fun camp that says it's educational, and when it says it's educational, it is, but it doesn't really feel like you're learning because like they'll have swimming and stuff and just regular summer activities. You'll make new friends and have a really good experience.
Sounds like a great opportunity, really unique, diverse experience that some of our students do get to participate in those camps, and there are many camps that you can get scholarships to, and that are free through different churches around town and community organizations, but also finding camps that interest you that you can spend time going to and doing different activities. How about you, Margot? What do you plan on doing this summer to avoid the summer slide?
Well, I signed up to volunteer at the New Hanover Regional Hospital, and I've always wanted to be a physical therapist, and there's an opportunity that you could watch physical therapy there and watch hospital patients recovering from their surgeries. And if you do that, you only have to go like once a week or once a month even. And so it's keeping it to a minimum, but it's also keeping you in the mindset of doing work and keeping your like school mind, I guess.
Your mind sharp. Yes.
And it's also a great opportunity because I can learn more about what I want to do and see more of that.
And applying it to what you are learning in school to what you're experiencing outside of school. And that's a unique opportunity as well, where you can really integrate and find what you're passionate about, what your interests are, and like Zach was saying earlier, make it so that it is fun, so you don't even really think about the learning aspects of it, but really just growing and stretching your mind through putting yourselves in those positions to learn more about math, science, English, all kinds of subjects. How about you? What do you plan on doing, Emily?
Well, I've always wanted to be a pediatrician, and my mom's a pediatrician, and she's having me work at her office and rounding with her in the Women's Children's Hospital. And I'm not like volunteering like officially, but I mean I'm going.
Sure. And just
And
being
shadowing
there.
her.
Yeah, and shadowing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I like help her with stuff, like get those thermometers and all that stuff for her.
I'm sure a lot of students have parents in many different careers and professions and jobs that either go along with them, you know, throughout the day and just kind of shadow, like you were saying, and gaining that knowledge of what the world of work is like, and also gaining the experience of just not necessarily volunteering in documenting those hours, but to have that background knowledge to apply to your classroom learning and online learning is remarkable. That's very cool. How about you, Ella? What do you plan on doing this summer to avoid the summer slide?
I babysit a lot, so like it's not like that I don't have time for fun, but like I'm having fun with the kids, and like I want to do something that like requires I guess like with people, like interaction.
Sure.
Like whether it's like I go to business school to like, or marketing or something like that.
Right. So applying it, your love of being with people and helping children, especially by babysitting, you know, you're gaining again those skills that you need to incorporate into the business world, and starting small, starting local in your neighborhood and families that you know, and it's a great experience, great opportunities to earn a few extra dollars and have a small business on the side that you can manage and make a business plan for, that your families and neighbors and friends can help you with. And I think it's just really, again, important to figure out how to balance and thinking about what is a realistic time of, you know, vegging out or checking out, doing video games, watching movies and things like that, but also having fun with your friends and your family and traveling and trying some camps and engaging in all these really great opportunities. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, panelists. I really do appreciate your tips and suggestions. Research shows that the biggest impact on student academic achievement is made when families engage in learning activities that reflect the work children do in school. The summer break is an excellent opportunity for parents to reinforce their children's learning and help prepare them for the year ahead. Families can help minimize learning loss over the summer months by staying engaged in their children's learning. Most public libraries have summer reading programs that are free, and families can take advantage of other free library resources even if they don't participate in the reading program. The National PTA provides several valuable tools to check out on their website, and there are also several workbooks that teachers highly recommend. Spending a few summers each day completing pages from these workbooks goes a long way. Now don't go away. When we return, I'll talk with our panelists about their perceptions of high school life and also address any common fears rising sixth graders might have about going into middle school. We'll be right back.
It was 1 against, I don't know, probably 10. By the time they were done, his neck was red, and I am afraid to go to high school. It scares me.
I have a knife and you don't. Ha ha ha.
He bring a knife.
He brought a knife.
It was in his backpack.
There was this kid that was like 17. He came to a school with a gun.
We didn't know if it's fake or real.
Our children need our help to deal with tough issues, like violence. Please, talk with your kids.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to UTalk. Next year, most of our panelists will be entering an exciting new world, high school. It'll be an adjustment from what they're used to. But the good news is that they will have even more opportunities to learn, make new friends, and participate in awesome activities and organizations. Today on our show, we want to talk with our panelists about their high school fears as well as address a few fears that rising middle school students might have. All right, panelists, this is our last time together for most of us, except Ella will be staying on next year. High school is upon you. What do you think? What are your fears? What do you expect?
I'm so scared because we're going to Laney and they're like 2,000 kids overpopulated. and
It's like a
huge,
small
like,
college campus,
Yeah.
but we're doing STEM program together. Hopefully we can get in, but it's
I'm
still
really-
scary.
I know I'm gonna get lost on the first
Me
day.
too.
I'm so nervous about
The
that.
thing with me though, I'm going to Isaac Fair, so it's like not even like, I don't know.
You're basically
like,
going to
yeah, it's so
college.
small. It's like small.
Very,
You know everyone there.
very small campus.
If I get
and-
lost at that school, then that's
That's
kind of sad.
That is kind of sad.
So getting lost, I've heard you say that is a big fear, and then
There's
just
so many
adjusting and
places.
transitioning to
I'm
high
also
school. That's a
like-
very large high school.
I'm also scared of like being a freshman. I'm going from like top of the food chain to the
Yeah.
bottom, from going from like top of middle school to the bottom of high school, and like walking around the halls with seniors and like.
Right.
I'm
really
kind of
tall.
the scary thing is like you go in there and then you're on the bottom of the food chain, but you get to wear whatever you want. That's another plus side. But you're in these classrooms with, you might be in these classrooms if you're in honors or something, like you might be in these classrooms with not seniors but juniors or sophomores. So it's kind of like people who have already been around in ninth grade, and you get it's kind of weird.
So there will be opportunities to kind of mix into classes with older students, upperclassmen perhaps, depending on the classes or courses students are taking. And that can give us a little anxiety and a little fear, but I think that, I'm wondering if some of these fears that you're talking about, even just getting lost in the school and mixing in with new students and a new place and obviously the population, we keep growing. It's a really good thing, but it's very challenging to go to school with so many people, and we're merging all of the other middle schools together into the high schools and options that we have here in New Hanover County. But it's good to start thinking about, finding your niche again, and how when you felt those fears going into middle school, and now how you're kind of, like you said, the food chain, and moving your way up and being an 8th grader, and now you're going to move on into 9th grade and you have to kind of start all over again. But not necessarily, only in terms of just navigating those obstacles and finding ways to overcome some of those daily fears, and realizing that getting lost in a building or a new school is inevitable, right? It's probably going to happen, but you shared an experience earlier. We were talking about how when you first came to middle school and you got lost.
So one of my teachers at the time, he was in a trailer outside, but I didn't know that, and so I walked up to my homeroom teacher. I was like, "Do you know where this teacher's classroom is?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, but he just like paused, and so I was like, "Do you know? Like, could you tell me?" And he was like, "Yeah, he's outside." And I was like, "Okay, thank you."
Exactly. So hopefully those adults in your life and your teachers will point you in the right direction and continue to help students navigate their way. And they might be a little more playful and a little bit more, jovial with you at times, but it's always good to find people and advocate for what you need as a student to get from place to place and kind of get through the school day, I guess. But that's a nice opportunity for you to have early college, as well as what you were mentioning, just a smaller campus, smaller class size. Anything else that you're nervous about as far as the early college experience goes?
I mean, I'm gonna miss like all my friends, and then like the bigger, like more. I mean, it's still gonna be independent, but it was like with so many more students like at a school, like it's gonna be the opposite for them. Like for you, it's like you guys are going to like a.
It's huge.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's like not even half the size of like where we are now. And yeah, I'm just gonna miss like
You might probably
that
have like
big
one,
aspect.
You probably have one class of, so we would go to a classroom that would probably be your whole school.
Yeah, basically.
How about you, Ella? You're going to be staying on in middle school as our friends leave us and move on to high school and spread their wings. What advice do you have for rising 6th graders, our new group of students that are coming to us next year?
It's not as scary as like a lot of people say it is. I mean, like, yeah, you will get lost, but like, I mean, there's people there to support you, like you said, and they're not gonna like say, oh yeah, it's over there, when like it's actually like not.
Right.
They're not gonna like
mislead
do
you
that
or
on
something.
purpose.
Right,
Yeah.
Right.
Like I thought that being in 8th grade was gonna be a like big deal. Like I was looking forward to it because you would be like at the top of the food chain instead of at the bottom. And then, but really it's like after once your 8th grade starts, you're like, wow, you kind of over anticipate things. And
even as like an 8th grader though, I still get intimidated by some 7th graders and 6th graders.
They're tall. There are some tall 7th graders.
Yeah. I'll walk through their halls and I'll just get like nervous. I'm like, whoa, because they're so tall.
But like you will see a difference like once you're in 8th. Like when I go back to the 6th grade hallways, I feel so much bigger, and like because like all the heights are like smaller, and then you like walk through, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I know when I walk through the 8th grade hallway, it's like I like get nervous, but then like I'm like, dude, relax. You're gonna be in here next year. It's like you're gonna be the 8th grader scaring everyone, but like.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your experiences and your fears, and know that you'll all do fine next year as you move on into high school and remain in middle school and come on board with a new batch of students that are coming to middle school next year. Well, that wraps up our program this month. We hope you have enjoyed this edition of UTalk. If you missed any part of this program, then check us out online at www.nhcs.net and click on the blue NHCS TV icon to find us on the school systems webpage. I'm Megan Demolina. On behalf of my co-host Paige Turner and the entire UTalk panel, thanks for watching. We hope you'll submit questions to our show and tune in again next year for all new episodes of UTalk.